Well, I think we continue to make pretty good progress, as a team. I think we have a lot of guys that are working hard, a lot of guys that are competing, a lot of guys that are actually improving. And I think one of the points that I continue to make with the players is their ability to stay focused on what they need to do to improve, to sort of self-assess where they are and go work to improve on the things they need to improve on. I also think that, we're really trying to evaluate guys that are competitors, that go out there and compete every day in every circumstance. We do some competition drills sometime in practice, and it's amazing how guys sort of rise up, whatever, and, really compete in those drills, but yet in the practice reps, they don't have the same energy, they don't have the same intensity, they don't have the same focus. I think what's really important is you don't get in the mode of enduring practice, that you look at every rep in practice as an opportunity to compete, and you respect the other player. So if he's competing against you and he's doing the best he can and you're doing the best you can to win your box, whatever that is, whether you're playing defensive line, offensive line, corner, receiver, it doesn't matter, that you're really trying to make the other guy better. Because you're playing hard against him, he's playing hard against you, and you respect each other for that. I think that goes a long way in helping build respect and trust on the team when guys do that. I think it helps team chemistry. I also think that we're still trying to identify, leadership. We have some good leadership on the team from a year ago, but we have guys in new roles that have new responsibilities, new opportunities, and some of those guys need to embrace the opportunity that they have to, lead and affect, other guys on the team, which I think is always something that's really important. So, this scrimmage, I know you probably asked me what's the difference between this scrimmage and the last scrimmage. I think the big thing is we focus on improvement. That's what we talk about after the last scrimmage. That's what we've talked about for 2 practices in a row, making sure you know what you have to do to wherever you are to continue to make progress. And I think we want to evaluate, how that goes. I also think that, you start to see guys gain confidence in other guys that they play with because they are responsible and accountable. They can do their job. They do communicate. And I think that goes a long way to impacting and affecting, team dynamics. So those are some of the things that we want to continue to progress and continue to build on, and we'll kind of go from there. I don't know who the Alston money, we pay our players that. We paid them last semester. We're paying them this semester. I don't know where some of those things come from. I know you probably asked me about Ajay Hall. He is suspended from the team for, violations of some, team rules, whether they're, academic or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Everybody has a responsibility and obligation to respect the principles and values and do what they need to do they're all there to help them be more successful. So to respect those and do those is always really helpful. Any questions?
Coach, could you update the offensive tackle position and whether or not some of the movement between tackle and guard that you talked about at the beginning of the spring for some guys has begun to settle down at all?
No, it hadn't. We don't have enough offensive linemen that everybody doesn't have to, sort of rotate around and do a lot of different things. So we'll continue to evaluate it. Guys are making progress, and but it hasn't settled down because we have a lot of guys that we only got 10 or 11 guys that are able to practice in the offensive line. All right, so we're trying to practice 3 or 4 teams of guys, so guys have to mix and match. We have 7 guys per group, and they have to rotate around. Is it important that we build continuity in the offensive line right now? I think the diversity that we gain from the experience that guys get at various positions is probably more important right now than worrying about what you're worried about. But, we do have some guys that are making progress at tackle, and hopefully they'll continue to improve throughout the spring.
On Ajay, just what opportunity does he have to earn his way back to the team, and what would you look for in that
Well, he
regard?
already had that opportunity once, so I don't know what his plans are for the future.
We will go back over here to Nick.
Yeah, how have you seen the younger cornerbacks like Kool-Aid and Kyrie obviously getting that experience late last year? How have you seen them develop early in spring?
Well, I think, consistency and performance is, really a critical thing at corner. I think both guys have definitely, made some good plays. I think we need to do it on a more consistent basis, and I think they have to look at every opportunity they get in practice as an opportunity to compete and try to get better. And, one of the things that's really important when you play corner, they all get beat. So how you play the next play is really, really important. You got to have resiliency when you play that position so you can stay focused and not get frustrated, not get emotional, control your emotions, be able to focus on the next play, and that's what makes great competitors at that position. So those guys are making progress.
Hey, Coach, what was the message that you wanted to get to Trey Sanders last season when he was recovering from his injuries, last offseason, excuse me?
Well, Trey's done a remarkable job to overcome all the adversity that he's had to overcome. I think the big thing that we tried to do was be positive, with Trey, because it was an uphill battle for him, and there was times where he would get a little frustrated, but all in all, he was extremely positive. He worked hard. He went through, tons of difficult days because he had to fight through a lot of not only injuries, but the pain that went with those injuries and rehab and coming back. And never probably been more proud of a guy for the way he fought through all that. He was able to contribute last year, and when he scored the first touchdown in the Miami game, I was like, it doesn't get any better than this, just my thoughts for him. So, and he's had a good spring and doesn't seem to have any reoccurring problems.
Just on the wide receivers, what do you want to see from that group from both a mentality and a maturity standpoint this offseason?
Well, consistency and performance is still, the most critical, part of playing any position, and it's no different at that position. And I think we have, enough guys that have the skill level that we need to have. I think they got to play hard and fast, and you got to do things a certain way when you play receiver. You can't ad lib because the quarterback has got to make quick decisions and timing is involved. So the precision that you need and the discipline you need to have the precision so that we can develop, chemistry in the passing game is, critical, to being successful in that part of the game. And I think some of the young guys, they got to continue to develop and grow and understand the importance of that.
What have you seen from Jaheim Otis already? And then when you see a guy make a transformation like that, physically, how encouraging is that during his time with y'all?
Well, it's a work in progress, and he's certainly made a lot of progress, and he's a much better player where he is right now than he was the other way when he's a little heavier. But he's making progress. But like a lot of young guys, for them to play fast, they have to have confidence and knowledge of knowing what to do, how to do it, why it's important to do it that way so they can play fast. And I think a lot of young players go through that sometimes, but he has flashed a lot of ability. He is hard to block, and we're excited about having the opportunity to continue to work with him.